Pygmalion's Gentle Wish, Bedtime Story. In a quiet seaside town, where the air smelled of salt and warm stone, there lived a sculptor named Pygmalion. In many tellings of this Greek myth, he carved a woman from ivory and later prayed to Aphrodite, who granted his wish by bringing the statue to life. The living statue is often called Galatea. His workshop was peaceful, a high window for sunlight, clean tools lined up neatly, and a floor dusted with pale powder from his carving. Pygmalion liked calm days and careful work. He didn't like loud crowds or quick promises, because the world sometimes felt too sharp and confusing. One morning he chose his finest ivory and said softly, "Today I will make something gentle." He began with simple lines, curves like seashells, smooth edges like river stones. Slowly a face appeared, kind eyes, a quiet mouth, a peaceful expression that made the room feel softer. He carved hands that looked ready to hold warmth, and hair that seemed to remember the wind. Day after day, Pygmalion worked with patience. When he grew tired, he sat back and listened to the sea outside. When he returned to the statue, he polished the surface until it shone in the light. When he finally stepped away, the statue stood there like a calm presence, not like an object. Pygmalion felt proud, then something deeper than pride. He started talking to her as if she could understand. "Good morning," he would say. "The sky is bright today." Some days he brought flowers. Some days he tied a ribbon near her hair. He placed a soft shawl around her shoulders so she would look warm, even though he knew she could not feel it. But when the workshop grew very quiet, a sadness came to him, gentle but heavy. One evening, just before sunset, he touched her hand. It was cold. He pulled back and whispered, "I wish you could be warm. I wish you could be real." That night, the town held a festival for Aphrodite. Lanterns glowed, and sweet incense drifted through the streets. Pygmalion didn't usually go to festivals, but a small hope guided him to the temple. Inside, candlelight flickered over stone walls. Pygmalion placed a simple offering on the altar. Nothing grand, just honest. He bowed his head. "Aphrodite," he whispered, "please grant me a love that is gentle and true, a love that feels safe." He didn't dare to say more. He didn't say, "statue." He didn't say, "bring her to life." He only offered the wish that had been living quietly inside him. As he finished, the candle flame lifted, bright and steady, like it had heard. Pygmalion walked home under a calm night sky. The festival music faded behind him. Only the sea remained, steady and patient. When he opened the door to his workshop, everything looked the same. Moonlight lay like silver on the floor. The statue stood where she always stood, still and perfect. Pygmalion took a slow breath and stepped closer. "Hello," he said, almost shy. He reached out and touched the statue's hand again. This time it was not cold. It felt cool at first, like skin in shade, and then it warmed beneath his palm. Pygmalion stared, hardly daring to breathe. He touched her wrist, her fingers, her cheek. The ivory softened. The stillness changed. The air in the workshop seemed to hold its breath, as if even the moonlight was listening. Then very softly, so softly it could have been a dream, the statue's chest rose with a quiet breath. Her eyelids fluttered, and her eyes opened. They were bright and calm, like morning light on the sea. She looked at Pygmalion with gentle curiosity, as if she recognized him not as a stranger, but as someone important. Pygmalion's eyes filled with tears. "You're here," he whispered. "You're alive." The young woman looked at her hands, moving her fingers as if discovering them for the first time. She touched her hair, then the shawl on her shoulders, then the flowers nearby. Finally, she looked back at him. Pygmalion stepped forward, not like an artist approaching his work, but like a person greeting another person. "My name is Pygmalion," he said softly, "and I will keep you safe." She nodded as if she understood the meaning, even if the world was new. She stood slowly, learning balance like a fawn. Pygmalion offered his hand. She took it, and she squeezed, just a little. That tiny squeeze felt like a promise. I'm real. I'm here. You're not alone. Outside, the sea kept breathing against the shore. The town slept. The stars watched quietly. Inside, Pygmalion smiled, and his voice became as gentle as the night. It's late, he said. Let's rest now. And in the peaceful workshop, under soft moonlight, a new life began. Quietly, kindly, like the end of a bedtime story. The end.